There we go. There we go. And I'm going to open it up. Let's get up here. Submit all. And they're coming in, Millie. Here they come. Good morning.
Good morning.
Everyone. Good morning to Coffee with Kelly. Who is excited to be here? You know what?
Good morning.
I have a good feeling.
Hi, Lori. Hi, Shelly.
I have
Morning,
a really good feeling today, Millie.
Hey, Ron. There's Ron. Ariel. Yeah.
Good
There's
morning.
Ron. He's getting ready. I see Susan Sluts too. Oh man.
Really?
Yeah. Does anyone else have a good feeling about today? I have a really good feeling that today is an amazing fall of learning and growth. Let's go around the room, Millie. Who do we have? I see Roberto. I see Kiki. I see
Busy.
Hi,
Wes.
Nice to see you. Oh,
Hi, Mira.
Aubrey Lee. Aubrey Lee. There she is.
Hi, Rosalita.
I see Dolores. I see Amy Mantle. All right, let's bring it home, team. Let's go. Here we go.
Good morning.
We are ready to start.
Good morning.
Look at Tracy. Hi, Tracy. Sherman. Hi, Sherman.
Amanda is here. I see Buck Graham. I see Chris McCord. Hey, Chris McCord. Good morning, Friendlina. Oh, man. Team, I am so excited. Let me go ahead and mute everyone here for a second, and we will get this kicked off. One moment here. Millie, do we have some amazing things that we're going to share today? What do we have going on?
We do. We have, our special guest, Catalina, and we're going to be talking about strengths and who we are and how can we use that at work and at home. And next Friday, we'll continue a celebration and a summer celebration, and we're going to talk about more culture and what did we learn these past couple of weeks. So it's just exciting. We have Father's Day on Sunday, so all the fathers in the room, if you're a father to a child, a furry baby, or someone in your life that you've mentored, happy Father's Day.
Oh, Millie, I am so glad you brought that up, and thank you so much, because we do not want to forget to recognize all the amazing fathers that come to Coffee with Kelly and just are great leaders in our community. So if you're a dad, put it in the chat. Let us know if you are a dad and you are celebrating Father's Day this weekend, and let's see who we've got. And if you are coming in to Coffee with Kelly, we want to know if this is your first time. Is this your first time coming to Coffee with Kelly? So we can welcome you. Millie, keep an eye out for our first timers. And also, if you are coming into Coffee with Kelly, gosh, if you're coming in from anywhere around the world, we'd love to know where you are tuning in from. I know for a fact we are outside of the United States today. I see my beautiful friend who is in Nigeria, of course, the wonderful, the beautiful, amazing BC. BC, good morning from Nigeria. And are you having a great day there? Can you come on and say hello?
Yes, Kelly, I'm having an amazing day, and it is already good afternoon from Nigeria. Sending you warmth, love, and hugs all the way from here.
Oh, God bless you. BC is just such an amazing leader, and I'm so blessed to have her in my life. And I always love that she can find time and come to see us on her afternoons. So BC, are you having coffee today, or what's the afternoon? Is it happy hour yet in Nigeria?
So for my afternoon, I have ice chilled coconut water.
Oh, lovely. And I have to show something here. Can you hold that mug up for us, BC? Okay. Now, the Coffee with Kelly tradition is to have your official, we call it the hug in a mug. This is our official Coffee with Kelly mug. Now, I think it's pretty badass that it has made its way all the way to Nigeria. So BC, cheers to you.
all the way to Nigeria, safe and sound, and it is huggable.
Oh my God, love it. Thank you so much. So all of you out there, just welcome to Coffee with Kelly. I am super, super pumped to be here with you. I have had 3 cups of coffee, but you know what? My nickname now is 007. You know why? I have 0 complaints, 0 regrets, and I will have 7 cups of coffee by the end of today. So just call me 007. That's right. So Coffee with Kelly, oh my goodness, if you are new to Coffee with Kelly, welcome to this beautiful community. I'm going to share something with you. Let me pull this up because I think this is such an important part of our discussion today. So right here, JT, can you see my slide just so I know? Okay, wonderful. I want to welcome all of you to Coffee with Kelly. And over 2 years ago, this little community started with 5 people because we wanted to just help each other and support each other out through this challenge that we all went through. If we've all heard of something called COVID, obviously, but it has formed into something so much more. Never, ever would I have expected or guessed that it would just multiply all around the world, where we have had over 10,000 people. We have hit 58 countries. You just saw one of them with BC and Nigeria. And we have had almost 200 episodes of Coffee with Kelly. But as we wanted to kick off this culture series, I think it's really important to understand that we're not just a community. We are truly a place where we have a mission, a vision, and we live by a set of core values. And I want to recognize one of our core values today, because that's why we're all here. And if you look at our set of core values, if you look at the letter E there for encourage growth, development, and sharing of ideas, that's a value that we are living out here today at Coffee with Kelly. And that's one of the reasons we wanted to kick off and give you a great topic to help all of you that are here that showed up when you could be doing something so, just hanging out, watching the news, the Today Show, whatever you're doing, but you chose to come here and spend the next hour with this community. So we want to give back and serve to you and pour into you and help you be the best leaders that you can be. And I want to recognize, let me scroll here for a second, and I'm going to go to Francina. Francina, I know you're here in the local market, and I just want to say you're really doing a great job with your team. I know being an HR leader is not easy. No. And I know it's really hard, isn't it, Francina?
Oh, yes.
Absolutely. But I want to recognize you just for your positive spirit, and literally you are encouraging growth and development and sharing of ideas, because you're here representing your team so you can bring something back to them. So I just want you to know, thank you for living out one of our core values, and thank you for being here as part of our tribe. So I always love to recognize you. Yes, Francina, and we're so glad that you're here. And I know that last week we talked about culture, and I know that was such an important topic for you. We had, how many of you loved hearing from Regent Cornell from UKG? Wasn't he awesome, Francina?
Mm-hmm.
Seriously.
Yes. Awesome.
What was one of your takeaways, Francina? What did you take that you can take back to your team?
I think just staying positive and, trying to find the light at the end of the tunnel. Will get there. Just, you got to give it time. That's what I really took back. And just, we have to also ourselves think about the main goal of the corporation, not just ourselves. So that was one big takeaway that I got. And we're actually going through a merger right now. So that was really touching last week.
Absolutely. I thought it would be. So yeah, last week we tackled the conversation of how to protect the house when going through a merger, when you have 2 companies coming together with 2 different cultures that are both great. How do you keep it moving forward and still love the people and hold the foundation together? So great takeaways. If anyone did not get to see that, we do have the recording. So I'm going to mention that. we have a Slack channel that we have created behind the scenes for Coffee with Kelly, where we have free resources for all of you. We share jobs from all of our network partners and community partners in there. So if you need help finding talent, hey, we would love to be a resource to just help you. And in the past 2 years, I'm proud to say that this community, with how we serve each other, has put over 180 people in a job out there in the community in one state or many states, but a lot here in South Florida. So we will share a few of our newer jobs that have come in later in this chat. But we always have a tradition here at Coffee with Kelly. And what's that tradition? It is, what's the word of the day? You know, I always set the tone and the intention for what the word of the day is going to be. And today we're talking about something that, let me tell you, you want to talk to me about getting me jazzed up, getting me energized, and something that I have such a conviction for in my life. We're talking about building a strengths-based culture. And when it comes to cultures, I absolutely just love seeing organizations and leaders really adopt and embrace and bring in and learn how to build a strengths-based culture where not everybody is perfect, but they're a group of imperfect people that are working towards the same goal. And they understand that they're not good at everything, but they really focus their development, and the leaders focus development around what people do right instead of focusing on what people can't do. But we understand who are the complementary partners around us that help us leverage what we don't have in those moments of challenge and difficulty. And that's what a strengths-based culture looks like. So I'm going to test all of you this morning. What do you think the word of the day is? And the first one that gets it in the chat will get a prize. Don Christie has a guest, Ariel Boverman. There you go, right there from New York. Ariel, you are the winner today of a hug in a mug. So Ariel, if you have one and you would like to pay it forward to another one of our guests, please let me know and I'll take care of that. Or if you would like another one for your cabinet, I'm happy to send it to you. So get in touch with Millie, we'll get it taken care of. And when we're talking about strengths today, I don't think there's anyone that I respect more that truly has taken what she has learned at a top level of leadership. We're going to the top of an organization here. And a woman that I respect so greatly for how much she invests in her people. She knows the value of making sure her employees have resources, they have development, they have the tools to be successful, because sometimes we just need to have the knowledge to help us get where we want to go. And that's what brings me to start talking to you about Catalina Edwards, our very special guest today. See, yeah, that's right, woohoo. And I know she's got a cheer section here today. So she's got a cheer section here today. And if you're here representing ChenMed, we want to know in the chat, because I know a lot of her team has come in, and that's going to speak to Catalina's leadership. When I was introduced to her by my amazing friend Aubrey, who's here on the call as well, I would have never met Kata if it wasn't for Aubrey, but Aubrey believed in me so much and how convicted I was around the power of Strength Finder. And I believe in it so much. For those of you that don't know, I left a six-figure job to do what I do today, to help organizations understand how to use this in their culture. I saw the difference that understanding my strengths helped me within my own leadership. It was a game changer for me as a leader. I thought I was doing a good job as a leader. Boy, did I have a lot of it wrong, and I didn't understand a lot of things. But when I understood strengths and I really understood how to execute on it and how to use it in my leadership, I knew I had a winner here, and I had to find a way to get it out to more organizations because of how it helped me lead my team. And that's what led me to Catalina probably about 3 years ago, I'm going to guess. But the moment I met her, I instantly wanted to know her. I wanted her to be my friend. I just loved her energy so much. And I knew she was someone that was truly a leader that was going to make a difference. Now, I love to bring in my speakers with a little bit of energy and a little bit of excitement. So I always ask them, what is the song that gets you pumped up in the morning? And for those of you, this is what Catalina chose. So anybody know this song? A little Zach Brown? Well, this
Zach Brown, come
I love
on.
that song.
Welcome, Catalina, to
Yay.
Coffee with Kelly. Come on in, Catalina.
Good morning, team. By the way, I'm so humbled. I'm like blushing. And if you know me, that doesn't really happen very often. So thank you for having me, Kelly. You guys are just such an awesome group of people. Really appreciate the energy. It's like palpable through the screen. I didn't think it was going to be a thing, but you feel it. It is awesome. So thank you, team, for having me. Really, really appreciate you. And what Kelly didn't tell you, her story is kind of funny. Can I tell the story, Kelly? Is that okay?
All yours, Catalina. It's
Okay.
all yours.
So Aubrey, who is also on the call, dear friend of ours, she kept saying, "Hey, Kata, you really gotta meet Kelly." And I was like, yeah, I'll meet her later. And she kept bringing up, like, no, like, you really gotta meet Kelly. I'm like, yeah, Aubrey, come on, like, we got other things to do. Like, I'll meet Kelly later. And then the third time, it took about like 2 years, maybe more than 3 times. I don't even know. I was like, all right, I'll meet Kelly. Let's see what this is all about. So Aubrey, Liam, love you. Thank you so much for connecting us, because once I met Kelly, once our team met Kelly, once we talked about strengths, it was like, oh my God, I have been missing this my whole career. We haven't had this with other folks. It was transformative, completely different, completely changing. So Aubrey, high five. I know you're out there, high five. Thank you so much for connecting us. And yes, now it's been 3 years since we've kind of gone through this really cool process of learning about each other, learning about strengths. And kind of the secret here is it's not only about strengths at the workplace. I made my husband take it, which was awesome, And we've been together for a long time. And I was like, wow, and now I understand what you do, why you do it. So that was pretty cool. So anyway, so yes, that's how we met Kelly's story.
Love it. So it's just, and this is how I want to share this with you all, because I truly want to help anyone get where you're trying to go. Like, I love to lift other people up and help you get where you're trying to go. And that's what Aubrey did for me. And that's what Kata has also been in my life as well. So I am going to always help any of you. If there's something you need and you just need a door opened or somebody to just make a phone call for you, that's the difference maker that Aubrey made in my life. And I want you to know, Aubrey, I love you. And we need more women out there to support women like you, because you have truly helped me get to the next level in my business because of the introductions you've made. So love you, Aubrey. So Catalina, come on back in and just, I'm going to let you share whatever you'd like to share, but give the audience, we've got a lot of people here that are eager to hear from you. What is your role at ChenMed? And just give us a little bit of background on ChenMed for those that don't know ChenMed, please.
Sure. So I'll start with kind of who I am and what I do, and then I'll give you a story of Chen. So Catalina Edwards, or Kata, whatever works best. I'm currently what we call a division president. What that means is I'm in charge of this really great group of folks, or lead a really great group of folks in South Florida, the west coast of Florida, and Michigan. All right. So who is, and everybody on my team, I always just tell them, like, I don't really do much. I just get to brag about a really cool team that I have. And I say that all the time. So anyway, so that's me, that's my team. I've been at Chen for 9 years. It's been amazing, very transformative. It's changed my life personally. Really enjoy what we do, which is effectively going to underserved neighborhoods and build these like awesome, really beautiful medical centers filled with about anywhere from like 15 to 30 jobs, okay, in communities that normally wouldn't have any actually really much jobs or very many physicians. So we filled it with these fantastic PCPs, board certified, fantastic, team members, and we bring light to these neighborhoods. And then on top of all this really cool stuff that we do, we serve seniors, right? So it's a senior, they're for seniors, and then we make them better, which is like really cool, right? So when we think about healthcare, you think about, you're just maintaining. No, but on average, our patients will actually live 3 to 5 years longer just by joining a Chen. So it's really very cool. It's very different the way that we practice medicine. So we practice medicine to keep you healthy, not to just kind of keep you around. So a little bit different there. We are just actually celebrating 100 centers, which is incredible. I can't even believe that. Yeah, I know it's a really big deal. Thank you, Milagros, for the clap. It's a really, really big deal. So really proud of the teams that are able to have been able to do that. So in a nutshell, Chen, we go into underserved neighborhoods, build beautiful centers so that we can serve the senior populations, and then effectively make them healthier, make them live 3 to 5 years longer. So that's a little bit about Chen. Kelly, how did I do? Team, how am I doing? I don't know. This is like my first time. Is this okay? Like, we could do thumbs up, down. Tell me if you want more or less. I don't know. Okay, I see thumbs up, down. You guys
They want more. They want more. You know what, Kata? I'm going to launch a poll. Let's see in the audience here, and let's see what we've got. So take a look at this question, all of you. How many of you in the audience here have taken Strength Finders, or it's called Clifton Strengths, but some of you have heard it called Strength Finders. So I just put that out there. And if you kindly answer the question, we've got about 75 people here. Let's just see in this room how many have taken it so we can understand what we have in here. So I'll give you 5 more seconds. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, so I'm gonna launch it. Let's see, Kata, what do we have? All right, so Millie, can we see those results there?
Yes, so 73% of the people on the call have taken the assessment and 27 haven't. So we have a large amount of people who have taken it.
Yes, we do. And if you know what your #1 strength is, go ahead and put it in the chat. And Kata, what are your strengths, Kata? So what did you learn about your strengths? And then kind of share with us what you're doing around building a strengths-based culture. There's a lot of leaders here that reached out to me this week wanting to know more about this. And you're in the field, you're in the trenches, you're leading teams, and you're using it. And whatever you can share and your experience that can add value to this group, we'd love to hear it.
Sure. So team, so my strengths are strategic, activator, woo. Oh my gosh, now that I'm on the spot, I'm like forgetting. Strategic, communication and command. So strategic, activator, communication and command. So actually my team's on here, and it's really funny because now that they know their strengths, they're like, oh, she's in command mode. We can't, oh no. I'm like, oh, that's right. I'm sorry, guys. Like, help me bring it back. So it's kind of like a funny joke because of that. But if I can answer the other question then, right? Like, how do we use it? How do we getting into different teams? How do we own it? And that piece. So really, I'm going to go to the why first, if that's okay with you, Kelly, right?
Yeah, go for it.
So when we went through this process and said, okay, let's get our leaders, our leadership team. So that's anyone who's on my team and my partner, Dr. Trejo's team. Okay. We said, hey, let's try this out. Okay. We started trying it out and we said, wow, like we really discovered a lot about our people that we never knew. And it was almost like insulting. I know that sounds kind of ridiculous. It's like, wow, I've known, and I know Leila's on here, I've known Leila for 9 years and I had no idea that she was like disciplined, right? Oh, like that's not cool. Like, what other things do I not know about other people that is not letting me be first of all, be a friend, right? And secondly, be a leader and work with them. So we went back and said, okay, so let's figure it out with our team. So we went through the process, got everybody through the process, and almost like everybody was like wow, this is really cool. Like we're learning a lot about each other. And in our organization, we work in what we call dyads. So I've mentioned Dr. Trejos a couple of times. So he's like what we call our dyad. It's very different. So we have the same role, just he's a physician and I'm not. And that's how we work through the entire organization. We have the same responsibilities, everything. So strength helps you understand your dyad better, because all of a sudden I'm like, oh, he has responsibility. Like no wonder he stays up till 1 o'clock in the morning doing everything, because he's got to get it done. He's responsible for it, right? Whereas that's not my forte. I'm like, yeah, we'll do it tomorrow, right? I'm like the woo command different, right? So and we thought about strengths. Okay, well, how do we get this to other people so that they can understand that we're going to lead with being positive? Okay, we're no longer going to say, oh, hey, we're going to put someone in a position where they're going to fail because we don't know what they're good at. What we started doing is shifting that mindset and saying, let's put people in positions that, first of all, they're super happy in, right? Because we always think humans first, right? You have to be a human first. We're humans, we work together, we don't, yeah, but like humans first. So how do we get more people in positions where they're like, wow, my job is awesome. I get to utilize my God-given strength to do what I do every day. So those aha moments and those reasons was why we started with strengths, okay? And then as soon as it's almost like contagious. As soon as we did that with one team, all of a sudden finance wanted to do it and sales wanted to do it. And, our HCT teams wanted to do it and our front lines wanted to do it and our different regions wanted to do it, because it's almost like a paradigm shift, right? We are not focusing on what we're not good at. We're focusing on what we're really good at. And then it just changes. It changes the way you look at things. Even, I mean, it's a funny story, but I've been married for a very long time and I did not know a lot of things about my husband. I'm like, wow, this is very, this is very bad. Like I could have had such a better marriage quicker, right? So Kelly, that's really the purpose, right? It was, hey, how do we understand the person first? How do we get our people to work in what they're very happy doing and in their God-given talent? And then how do we engage that with other people, and how do we get that to kind of move across the organization? Kelly, did I answer the question? Is that cool? Yeah.
Boy, did you answer the question. Absolutely. And so think about this, because there's a lot of leaders out there that they want to do some sort of leadership program, and they want to check a box sometimes, Catalina, like just check the box. Oh, we gave them training and development. Now, I want to say this. Success doesn't happen overnight, and development and leadership take consistency. And where I've seen a lot of organizations when I work with different organizations and just talking to people that I've coached, they go through a workshop or a program, and once the program is over, they put their folders in their desk and everybody goes back to, the way life was. They had a great experience. It was fun. They learned, they had fun. But Catalina, this is where you are a leader that I respect greatly, because you and your team, Aubrey, Layla, and all of you that are here that have done this, you didn't let that happen. And that's a huge piece of the success that you're seeing, because I will get texts from Catalina, honestly, during the week. And once she got the real understanding of what strengths can do for her as a leader and what it can do to help coach and develop her people, like she was contagious at that point. And she would send me texts, I'm obsessed with strengths. I want to know more. And that's where I want to say, Catalina, you've really done an incredible job, because it's not like you don't have a lot going on. Like,
yeah, this is so love that you're saying that, because so as a team, we made a commitment, right? And then there's a lot of folks on this line that are part of my team, and we made a commitment, right? Like, we're big believers here that like you don't just commit because I'm your leader and I'm telling you to do it, right? That's not a thing. We do things and we commit to strengths, or really anything across the board, because we believe that it's something that is going to make us better, okay? Or something that we believe is a moral imperative. So hey, we know our organization's doing really good, so we're committed to it. So that was a question that we asked the team. Hey, do you guys believe this is something we should be talking about every day? And across the board, our team was like, yes, Okay, so how are we going to commit to doing this on a daily basis so we don't forget it? So, excuse me. So we have something we call a stand up. So every morning across our entire organization, everybody spends about 15 minutes just kind of aligning on the day, talking about our core values, who we are, what we do. Okay. So on our team, we said, you know what? Every morning we're going to talk about strengths. And I ask this question all the time, almost every single morning of how did you utilize your strengths to coach your team? And it's really, really cool. Like we learn, I mean, I've learned so much. I know across the board, we've learned so much from our team members on like, how are they coaching their teams and how are they utilizing their strengths? Or have, you know, the other question we asked too is, hey, have you seen somebody else use their strength and did you commend them? Right. And that's also a really cool one. And my favorite one that I asked, I don't know if he's on the call today, but it was a Monday morning. And I was like, man, I've been asking you guys about coaching all the time. Let me ask something different. So I asked, okay, team, like, how did you use your strengths yesterday? So yesterday happened to be Sunday. Guys, when I tell you, I learned so much about our team that day. I was like, wow. It's like, yeah, this is really cool. So there's a story of somebody on our team who has analytical. And man, he was like, I spent the day, I downloaded all of the data on the S&P 500 and I spent the day analyzing it and I found a stock that it was recession proof. I'm like, we're all like, that's amazing. First of all, like, whoa, that is so cool. And then like, how cool is it that like he's analytical, he gets that, that's what gets him going. That's his God-given gift. How cool is that, right? And I think that day too, Aubrey had something else, which is really fun about like organizing and getting a present for her mom, or I can't remember, something like that. But it's really neat to understand how we use our strengths, not only in our work life, but day to day. And that commitment has stayed for us as a team. Like we talk about it every day and we say, where are you at? How are you using it? How do you see your teams using it? And then our encouragement to our team is, hey, do the same thing with your team. Like ask them when they've used it, right? Like, and how they're utilizing it. And now it's become part of just what we do. We just talk about it every day. Even if I'm not on the meeting that day, that's what we're talking about, right? It's not like you don't need me anymore. Now it's just part of who we are. So that was really cool.
Now, Tribe, that's intentionality right there. That is truly taking something that you learn. And one thing I picked up that you said is you didn't just tell people that's what they needed to do. You asked them. And I love that about your leadership. You asked your team, should we do this? And you got their buy-in to get excited about it, Catalina. And I'm looking around the room, and a great example here is Wes Graham. So Wes, you've got a virtual background that was created to help make strengths more visible in your organization. So Wes, how are you using this? Because that was one of the things I know that was implemented by one of your team members so it can stay visible in the organization. So Wes, come on in for a second. And what's your number one strength, my friend?
Competition is my number one strength by far.
Yay, Wes! Love it. And so when you go to your Zoom calls, and is this something that you're seeing often? Like, how are you using this? Because when I heard this, when Aubrey shared this with me, I was like, this is such an innovative idea when we're in this remote working world or hybrid. And how can we keep people engaged? Like if you're in here as a leader, what are some of the biggest struggles you're having right now in the workforce? It's finding talent, it's retaining talent, and it's keeping them engaged. And Wes, like from your own perspective, I'm just going to ask, how does this keep you engaged, Wes?
It keeps me engaged a lot, right? Because Kata's been a really good leader and led me to strengths, which has helped me be a better leader to my team as well. So knowing my strengths and then also leveraging other people's strengths, because I've learned I don't have to be great at everything, right? I'm good at my few things, but I have a really good tribe around me that has really good strengths as well to leverage them. And I know when something or a task or duty comes up that it's not in my forte, I can leverage one of my other team members because we know of their strengths. And I am very forgetful, so the virtual background helps remind me of my top 5 as well, just out on a daily reminder. But anybody that knows me knows that competition is by far the #1 strength. And after doing it, it kind of made sense to me.
Love it.
Can I say a funny story about Wes?
Yeah.
Okay, so one of the first times that I met Wes, don't worry, Wes, this is a really good one. Okay, so he's got by the way, team, this is my awesome division sales director, Wes. All right, so which was really cool. Really got the opportunity actually to promote him from a different role, so that was really cool. So one of the first times that I met him, he on his key, we carry around badges, and on the badge he had a spatula. And I was like, what is that? Like, why do you have a spatula on your, an actual spatula? It was like a mini thing. I'm like, well, what are we doing? And he's so funny. He was like, no, I'm cooking. You're always cooking something. And I'm like, oh, what a cool thing, right? And then all of a sudden you started walking around to different centers, and then different people had spatulas. And I'm going, wow, Wes, what a cool influence that you have in this spatula thing. And then he had a contest going. Wes, I'm sorry, I'm butchering the story here, but it was some sort of contest who could flip the most, or who could have the most sales or something. And then when you look at Wes's competition, I'm like, oh, that's why he's always creating these really cool contests, because that's his thing. So
I love it. Great way to recognize how he's using it, Catalina. So that's what is causing the contagious energy around strengths in the organization, is because it started with the leader. And as we're talking about building culture in this culture series, it starts with the leader. The leader is 70% of what creates employee engagement. 70%. But it takes all of us, every one of us in here. Let's say we're working in an organization and we're all on the same team. How we show up creates the culture. And how we show up every day is what is going to build a culture that's going to create a culture that other people want to work in. Now, Millie, I see someone special that's been with the tribe since the beginning, that I know truly has embraced building a strengths-based culture. And it's been a big part of his growth. And he's been recently promoted, and I do see him here, and it's Rob Rosenbaum, another fellow executive center director with ChenMed. And Rob, I know you have a few things to share about building a strengths-based culture. What could you share that would help the leaders on this call that are curious about it or want to know what the power that it can do in an organization?
Well, clearly for me, strengths has changed my life about how I understand who I am and what I do. I did the same thing as Kata. I made everyone in my family take it. When I came to Chen, it was before we rolled it out organizationally. I actually had my dyad partner take it the first week. I came in with the books, and every one of my leaders single day. Now you'll see I'm wearing a pretty unique shirt, and I give all of the credit to Chen. We're so focused on culture. So today is a very special day for us. Every quarter we have, if you've earned it, you get an incentive payment. And so we celebrate that, and we celebrate it in a variety of different ways. So my strengths are around harmony and individualization and empathy. I do have a ranger and responsibility. So every quarter when we do this, I actually cook for my team. So there's about 50 people in our center. And we have a culture committee. They said for Juneteenth, everyone wear dashikis. So I'm wearing a dashiki shirt, and I'll be grilling today for the staff. And, when you connect with every one of your staff and what drives them, as as Kelly said, 70% is the leader showing up and being a part of the team. I know what motivates every one of my folks, and I'm very focused on the positivity and their strengths, and playing to those strengths. And so it's amazing to be part of a culture that encourages that and has rolled it out system-wide. So I'm very, very lucky to be here.
Rob, and we're so proud of you. Rob was very recently promoted, so big congratulations to Rob. And we've got such a powerful story around that. So Kata, we were just talking to Rob about he's using it on his team as well. And Kata, if you didn't know, Rob was one of the very beginning Coffee with Kelly tribe members. So he's been with us on this journey for the past 2.5 years. And then Chen hired him, and we see him every now and then. So it's always good to have him stop in, but you got a winner there in Rob for sure.
Kelly, and I wanted to make a comment. Go ahead. Go ahead, Rob.
Unfortunately, your Coffee with Kelly occurs during my stand-up. And so, I could see my staff walking by this office that I'm in with the window, and they're like, they notice when I'm not there.
Because you're a good leader, Rob. Absolutely. Go ahead, Millie. What do you want to say?
No, I wanted to go back to what Catalina mentioned about the importance of having the team, doing the strength finder and how they see her excited about it. And that's important because I'm a good example. I took my strength finder back in 2010, 2011 as part of, leadership development in the organization that I was in. And it was put in a drawer, it was put in a cabinet. Fast forward 10 years later, I hear Kelly talk about strengths, and I'm like, wait a second, I think I know what that is. And I emailed Gallup, I got my user ID and my whatever, I pulled up my strengths and I look into them and I'm like, this totally makes sense. So had Catalina been my leader 10 years ago, I would have understood really my strengths, the ones of my staff and my peers. So if you're working under Catalina, consider yourself very lucky, because there's not a lot of leaders that, yes, you can take the assessment, they pay to take the assessment, but that they really want to dive into where do you belong and where would you be placed so that you will shine in the role that you're in. So what you're doing, it's great for your staff and I think for the whole organization. And if anybody wants to chime in or has any questions, please feel free to come in.
I'm super humbled, and I apologize, guys. I'm a little under the weather, that's why I sound like this. So I was always off camera. I'm really, really humbled. It's really not me. It's the team that we have here is awesome. I'll tell you one of the things that I keep saying, that strength is transformative. So if anybody's familiar with Myers-Briggs, I'm ENTP. Okay, so for me, everything T makes me like I'm very black and white. So either it is or it isn't, or like, it's very difficult for me also to, and this is like very personal, but I love to share because it made a big difference in my life. And it's very difficult for me to get deep relationships with people because I like to woo also. So I like to get to know everybody, but I kind of like on a little bit of a, I don't want to say superficial, but kind of a superficial level. What strength helped me do is to understand that, like, Catalina, that's not your strength. Your strength is not, like, it doesn't come easily to you to meet new people and ask them about very difficult things. That's not my strength. But I have people on my team that they love to do that, right? So like what it's helped me do is understand people in a way that I never could before, okay? Because it was just very difficult for me to do because it wasn't something that I'm good at. So, excuse me, guys, I'm so sorry. So I wanted to give that opportunity to everybody else. How do we get other people to understand others better and themselves so that they can in turn have that aha moment?
That's just darn right leadership right there. We all want leaders that are going to see what we do really well and help us and allow us to use what energizes us. And I'm going to get another person that I know is a big supporter of strength. So Aubrey, I'm going to come to you. So Aubrey, my dear friend, from, you are in an HR leadership role in the organization, and, you've got HR business partners, you've got a team around you, you have talent acquisition leaders, and your experience, I mean, you have truly seen a lot of transformation. So what are your thoughts that you can talk about culture here to add value to this group?
So I echo a lot of what Kata had said. And I think, when we first did it, I had come to you and was like, how do we keep going? How do we not be that organization that puts it in the desk and walks away from it? And so that was super important to me, because I kind of like what we had shared before, we had tried so long to get you into the organization because I believed in it so much. You and I had had a conversation very on when I started with Chen, and you had showed me what my strengths were, and we had conversations with them. So I had started learning very early on what my strengths were and paying attention to that and being mindful of it and learning more about who I am as an individual. But I didn't know what the strengths were of my coworkers and how I could surround myself with people that could complement where I wasn't strong at. So when I got Kata and Layla on board with it, about 3 years into my my career at Chen, I was super excited. And so seeing that transformation at Chen has been amazing, but more so seeing how people have embraced it, and people are really truly using one another. Like as Wes said, he knows who he can go to when he needs to. When we go into meetings, one thing that Kata has done that I've really admired in the meetings, which I think has really been transformational, is we have goals. We're a very metrics-driven organization. So what are we going to do to achieve our goals? But then how do we bring strengths into that as well? And I do that with my team too. And I've encouraged them in the programs that we have implemented. What are we good at, but who can we use, and the strengths of others? Excuse me, hold on. I think you lost me. What are the strengths of others that we can use to help us achieve those goals? So, Wes has competition. If we're talking about sales, I'm a competitive person, but competition is not in my, top 5. So I'm going to go to Wes to say, okay, this is what I'm trying to achieve. How can Wes help me accomplish it? How can Wes help my team accomplish it? Layla is deliberative. How can Layla help me accomplish this in my goals? So I've seen that transform our organization as well. And really build that culture as well. But it's been fun. It's been exciting to see how many people have come to me and said, hey, can I bring this to my team? We brought our entire HR and talent acquisition team together. I have had people come to me and say, now I know how to better work with my team, because much like Kata said, we have dyads as a clinical and an operator. We see ourselves as HR and talent acquisition as dyads because we work so closely together. And when the challenges have arisen and we don't know how to work together, we go back to our strengths. So we rely on that to better communicate with one another. So that's how it's changed with our culture. The communication styles are different. The appreciation for one another is different. And the utilization of strengths to accomplish tasks and drive to outcomes is different.
Well said, Aubrey.
Can I add something? I'm sorry, I'm going to comment. Yeah. So Aubrey is describing something really cool, and I'm going to really oversimplify it, okay? But we're humans first. We're humans first, right? Like, before you're an employee, before you're a mom, before you're a dad, you're a human first. And getting to understand others on that level it's so different, right? It's like, instead of, oh, Catalina, she's a division president, I don't care about that. You're learning about Catalina, oh, she's strategic, she's woo, oh, she's got command. It's a joke. It literally is the joke around, like, yeah, she's got that one, right? Like, it becomes something really beautiful. So it's like now all of a sudden you see people through a different lens, right? And the way that I like to think about that is we're all beautiful creations of God. And if you see everyone through the lens of you're a beautiful creation of God, then and you start there and you see everyone that way as a human, as a beautiful creation of God, then everything else just flows. That's why it's fun. That's why we like it. That's why we're focused on it, because you're bringing out the good in everything that you do. And then people are seeing that, hey, Aubrey's really good at X. Like, wow, she really can develop people in a way that I've never seen. You get on Aubrey's team, you're getting promoted. That's just the way that it works, right? Because that's her strength, right? It's amazing. And then you have these people that like get to do what they're good at all the time. And it's just beautiful. It's starting with being a human first, starting with, let's just look at each other as beautiful creations of God, so that then we start there. And then that's how we build on leadership, relationships, etc.
That is so well spoken. I love what you just said. Like that's amazing. Amen to that. So we want to be able to have, are there any questions that anyone, is curious about around building a strengths-based culture, or something you want to just ask Kata in general about leadership? Millie, I didn't know if there were any in the chat that you had already grabbed or have seen. So I wanted to ask you, so we give people a chance.
Yes, I do not see anybody on the chat, but I do see Matt Kranz on the call, and we know that Matt is a great leader and he does believe in strength-based culture, and I was hoping he had some comments for us. Matt, can you hear us?
Good morning, everyone. I can. It's great to be back, Kelly and everyone. It's honestly, it seems like it's forever between I can jump back in here on these calls, but to add my 2 cents, culture is critical. And building a culture within an organization is not easy. I think, Kat, that one of the biggest things that I took away from this, and it is really important, we're all people. We all have strengths. We all have things that we bring to the table within an organization. But at the end of the day, it's that personal connection. It's that people connection. And so building that relationship, building the trust, and allowing people to have the feeling that you see them for the individual and not the resource or the tool or the skill they're bringing, really starts to grow the culture. So I think this is a great series. I'm very excited that I got the opportunity to sit here and listen to it today. And Kelly, it's always amazing to continue to watch how you grow and blossom. As I watch on LinkedIn and watch all these amazing events that you're getting to go to, it's crazy to see how far Coffee with Kelly has come within the last several years. And it's, to pat Kelly on the back, and I think we all like the opportunity to do that. You've changed people's lives. You have changed my life. You found me and helped me in a time where I needed guidance and you didn't know me, but you took that chance to help me because you like to help people. And so from me to you, thank you. I'm glad and excited that I take a look at the number of people that are on these calls. It's amazing, Kelly. There's over 70 people on this call that you have brought together to help. So thank you. And Catalina, thank you for your conversation today. I think it's great what you've been able to do with ChenMed. And I think there's a lot of information that we can go ahead and, I love to use the term, share the gospel about culture and love and people, and let's keep it going.
Oh, Matt, Catalina, I love that. Let's share the gospel around culture. Matt, you always have beautiful words. And Matt, we always appreciate you for the service you gave our country, and so happy that you are just doing amazing. So God bless you for sure. I know, Mira, you had a comment. Mira, did you want to put a comment out there?
Sure, just real briefly. So I'm a physician leader. I've been involved in several different organizations. Hearing this conversation and the culture that you're all describing is so exciting. And I just wanted to highlight another benefit that I don't think we've heard us talk about, which is that so many organizations, rather than celebrating differences, really want everyone to speak like groupthink. This is how we talk, this is how we act. And so what ends up happening is people that get promoted within the organization are the ones who exactly say the same things that everybody else does. And I think that's really a detriment to the individual people who want to grow and bring in their uniqueness, and also to the organization itself. How organizations are not going to be as effective if they're just everybody says the same thing and thinks the same way. So this is really exciting to me to hear that an organization is actually deliberately celebrating the differences rather than trying to make everybody the same. Thank you.
Well
Yeah,
said.
that's also, if I could just make a comment on that, because I'm such a big believer in this, and I think we all are across the board here, it's that when you're thinking about teams and generally people, if you have like a homogeneous team, you're likely to fail, right? Because everyone's doing the same thing. What is beautiful and amazing is that everyone is different, right? Because if let's say, for example, if I'm trying to solve a problem and like Monique and I have exactly the same point of view, how are we ever going to solve the problem in a different way? How are we going to see a different perspective, right? So really thinking about it differently. So it's not that, hey, you know, maybe BC or Matt or Martin has a different point of view, and that's how you win, not by having the same people say the same things over and over. It's completely the opposite. It's, hey, like, we want to create conflict and we want to create different points of views, and we have to, right? Like, if you're a physician, you get it. We're trying to transform healthcare. Healthcare is broken. So you can't do the same thing. You have to do it differently. You have to think differently. So that is such a great point. And it's, hey, how many differences can we bring in so that we can see problems differently, different perspectives? I love that. You're spot on, spot on.
Really good comment there. Absolutely, Mara. Thank you so much. And I'm going to ask Millie to put a link in there, because I would be remiss if I didn't at least share what openings Chen has. I mean, you have over 11 offices, Catalina, across the US, I believe. Is it 11 different states? I'm sorry, 11 different states.
So we got 11 different states. We got 100 different clinics, and then our home office is based in Miami, Florida. So our home base is here, but we've got a bunch of different states, from New Orleans to Detroit to Chicago to Virginia. We've got Georgia, we've got Kentucky, we've got Ohio, we've got all these different ones. So yes, we're all over. And then our home base is in Miami, Florida.
Yeah, so Millie, thank you for adding that, because we do have people from all over the country here. And that way, if anybody knows anybody that is looking for a culture that truly celebrates the uniqueness that people bring, I will say you're gonna hone in on Catalina's region there, because those are gonna be the centers that are focused right now. So you've got Dade, you've got Detroit. I don't know if we have anybody from Detroit here today. And what other state, Aubrey, is going to fall under Cata's region?
Fort Myers is coming soon. So that's obvious. That's still in Florida, and Tampa. Okay.
So there's the areas that Cata and Aubrey work together on, just FYI. And then I see Katie Lee, come on in. You have a comment, and I see Monique. And we're going to have to move quickly so we can let Cata go, but Katie, come on in.
Okay, I just wanted to add to the people are people, and that we should celebrate diversity within other people. I think empathy and input is actually my top 2 strengths, and hearing everybody, everybody was so wonderful today. It made me think a couple months ago, I saw a little family on the side of the road. They were from Romania. And I went over there, and I said, hey, what's your story? What's going on here? A guy and his wife and 4 kids. So what I did after I heard his story, I gave him the hope of capitalism. So what I gave him a $20 bill, because that's at one point all I had, the empathy part. And I was just, my heart really went out to them, coming from a different country and trying to making themselves something in America, because anybody can come to this country and make something of themselves. Because, I've been down and out, like almost to the point where they were at one point in time. And 2 years later, I told them, like, invest that $20 bill, feed your family, and you can do great things in this country. I told them, like, your kids can be millionaires. There's no reason they can't. And I told them how, like, my grandmother is from England. She grew up in World War II, dirt poor over in England, blitzkrieg, bombs dropping. And she came over to this country, married my grandfather, and they lived a great, wonderful life. And there's no reason you can't either. And it's like having that empathy and crossing a cultural boundary and just saying, hey, you're a person, I'm a person.
Yeah.
Let's just get along here and let's just have a good conversation about, things. And they were just so, I could see in their face when I was telling them all this good stuff, they just like lit right up. And they were just like, just the weight off their shoulders,
That's your gift, Katie.
It's awesome.
That's your gift. That's your gift for sure, that empathy. And thank you so much for sharing. Martha and Monique, really quickly, if you want to make a comment, and then I know Kata's going to need to get running. So Martha, do you want to say anything real quick?
Just really quick, this was so amazing. Catalina, I hadn't met you before, but this was great. I had a question, but maybe we'll leave it for next time. I just started a new job like 2 weeks ago, and I was thinking, how would I inspire, this new team? It's a small team, but how would I inspire them to get and jump into this Strengths Finder wagon, which has been amazing from my experience. That was my comment.
Thank you, Martha. Thank you, Martha. Let's go to Monique and then see if we can get to that after. And if not, we'll get back to you.
Yeah, I'll keep it real brief. Catalina, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I have not taken that strength building. I definitely want to take it so I could figure out what my strength is. I have an idea, but maybe I'll be surprised. But I want to talk to Mira. Thank you so much for your comment, Mira. I think it's so important to have to utilize the individuals on your team and to embrace their authenticity. And that is when I have one-on-ones with my team, I know that is one of the things that I say, I want you to be your authentic self. Even though we are in a corporate culture environment, I want you to use your authenticity. So Mira, thank you for your beautiful comment. I truly appreciate it and value it.
Thank you, Monique, so much. And Martha, I'll help you with that question offline, no problem. You just email me and I will give you some great ideas to get a spark going, okay? But Catalina, any parting words for you you'd like to say?
This has been awesome. You guys are great. Thank you for allowing us to share our story with you all. It's humbling and it's amazing to share. And if you guys can take anything away for it, or any away for it would be, hey, I'm going to go with humans first, right? Get to know each other, understand each other. And Monique, it's funny you say, oh, it's corporate, right? I used to always think that it is corporate. And also we're humans first, right? So yes, we have goals, and yes, we have aspirations, and yes, we have all this really cool stuff we want to accomplish as humans. So I would encourage you guys, if we can just all start there, the world would be such a better place. Let's just start there. So that's my preach for the day. Kelly, thank you for allowing me to have this platform. Thank you for showcasing my team. Aubrey, Wes, you're awesome. Thank you so much for that. Really appreciate you. So that's all I got, Kelly. Thank you.
Yeah, you brought your A game, Catalina, and we just appreciate and value you for being who you are. Aubrey, thank you so much, and all of the ChenMed family here. I feel like I am your family as well. So let's go live the day with love, accountability, and passion. Next Friday, we will continue this conversation. Culture series continues. I do not have a speaker coming in, but all of us, whoever can be in this conversation, we're going to have a roundtable discussion around another piece of culture. So please bring your ideas, your questions, your thoughts to the table, and we will let it rock and roll. Catalina, God bless you. Have a great day. Those chicken fried steaks on a Friday and a cold beer sounds good.
This is my favorite song.
I
love this song.
I love this song too.
My favorite.
All right, Catalina, good choice.
Bye, guys.
Love you
Bye,
all.
everybody. Have a good day.
Billy, as always. Thank
you.
Bye, everyone. Great to see everyone today.
Bye, Nicola.
Bye, Nicola.
Bye, Kelly. Bye, Lindsay.
See you, Louisa. God bless. Clifton. All of you, the team. Thanks. Great call. Great call.
Bye, bye, Millie.
Yes,
Bye.
Hi, Sherman.
Thank
Bye.
you. Hi, Sherman.
Bye, guys.
Bye.